At the ad group level, most of the navigation, actions, and filters are similar to what we just reviewed in the Campaign Manager overview lesson. On the Ads tab, this provides SKU level summary metrics. In the specified date range for this particular product, you can see the key metrics and you can evaluate the performance of this particular product. When looking at the product level, I am typically looking to see whether or not it's getting enough impressions based off of my expectations for a campaign. Additionally, I'm going to look to see how well is this product getting customers in the door from their search. So that's going to be the click-through rate. Generally, I'm going to look for a click-through rate average above 0.4%. You start getting down to 0.2% and lower, and we're losing the audience. And so we want to take a look at what is it about our particular product when the ads are showing that may be distracting shoppers from clicking on our ad. That can be anything from the image to the title, the number of reviews, as well as the price, of course, compared to other products being offered on the search results. We also want to take a look as far as, of course, the number of orders and sales and whether or not the ACOS is above or below the break-even profit margin percentage for this particular product. This page will also include any warnings or alerts that are specific to this particular product, such as being ineligible for the buy box. Amazon will not show you the same kind of warnings at the campaign level. You do actually need to go into the ad level in order to see such warnings. You'll have the ability to create a new ad, which adds a new SKU to this same ad group. This is not recommended as we want to segment each product or SKU into its own ad group set for more precise reporting and optimization. The Keywords tab also includes summary metrics similar to what we just looked at for the ads. These key metrics show us how well each keyword performs on getting shoppers into the door as well as converting to a sale. Keep in mind that each keyword has the ability to match up to multiple search terms. So while we might have a report that shows a search term is performing well or performing poorly, it is not going to have a direct correlation to the keyword because the keyword can have multiple search terms that feed into it. Before we make any adjustments to keywords, we want to make sure that we're always optimizing the search terms that are being matched up to that keyword. In this particular case, phrase match, you're going to have multiple search terms that match up for each keyword. In an exact match, there's still 2 to 3 search terms that can match up to a single exact match keyword. So be sure that you're optimizing those search terms first before making keyword level adjustments, including pausing or adjusting the bid. Each ad group has the ability to hold up to 1,000 keywords. If your keyword research results in more than 1,000 keywords, you can either reduce the number of keywords that you choose to test in your advertising, or like I do, you can create multiple ad groups to hold multiple thousands of the keywords. I simply just add on a number to separate each sub ad group. So in this example here, I've got the XL pencil phrase. I might say XL pencil phrase 1, XL pencil phrase 2, XL pencil phrase 3, for instance, to hold each 1,000. So for instance, if I found 2,500 keywords in my keyword research, I would need 3 match type ad groups in order to hold that whole 2,500. Recently, Amazon introduced the suggested bid and suggested bid range. The idea behind this was to replace the estimated page 1 bid value, which was previously designed to give you an idea of what the minimum bid is in order for your ad to show up on page 1. Because of difficulty in calculating that and the accuracy of it, they replaced that with this suggested bid range. This is primarily telling you what they suggest that you bid in order to have your keyword showing an ad on page 1 when all other things are equal. Unfortunately, that's never the case because there's always other factors, including relevance and your overall campaign quality, that are going to affect where your ad is shown, not simply just the bid. So while this is an improvement on what we had with the estimated page 1 bid, it is still not very accurate because we may apply the specific suggested bid that they recommend, and it still may not have our ad show up on page 1 if we have a weak campaign running the ad. The suggested bid also includes a range as far as the average low and average high winning bid that it took in order to be on page 1. This can be used as a guideline not only for where you should be bidding at in comparison to other competitors, And it can also give you an idea as far as which keywords may not have any value as perceived by Amazon or by other sellers, which may allow you to identify keyword phrases that Amazon is not considering to have value and may be paused because it's unlikely that even showing an ad on page 1 will result in an impression or a click for your product. If I'm just using Campaign Manager to do analysis, I can look at the individual keywords and I can assess which keywords are performing or underperforming, primarily based off of the number of impressions and clicks each one is receiving, as well as, again, the click-through rate and how good of a job it's doing bringing that shopper into my product listing, and of course, whether or not it's converting to a sale. This affects the ACOS. We again measure the ACOS in relationship to the net profit margin for this particular product. If you identify a keyword that is performing well, you may choose to expand on that keyword, including increasing the bid in order to potentially get more ad impressions and clicks, using it to seed more keyword research in order to find related keywords that may also perform just as well, and as a reference when you're looking at the search term report to identify which search terms are being matched up to that high-performing keyword. Each of the high-performing search terms that are contributing to this high-performing keyword can also be bid on directly as its own keyword in each match type. Similarly, we can identify keywords that are underperforming, and we can identify the individual search terms from the search term report that may be dragging down the performance of a keyword that could potentially still perform well once we optimize the underperforming search terms that are being matched up to that keyword, and bidding directly on any search terms that are performing well that are currently being matched to that keyword. Once we've optimized any underperforming search terms that are contributing to a keyword, we may also choose to lower the bid of an underperforming keyword in order to get closer to its break-even bid value. On the Ad Group Settings tab, you'll recognize similar fields to the campaign settings, including the ad group status, the ad group name, and the default bid, which applies to any new keywords that are added to this particular ad group are going to, by default, be set to this default bid value. Changing the value of the default bid for this ad group will change all of the unedited keyword bids for this particular ad group. Meaning if you've made bid changes to some of the keywords, changing the default bid for the ad group will change all the keywords that have not been modified to the new bid, but will not modify any keywords where you've manually edited the bid to something new. One of the changes that Amazon made recently was allow you to make bulk keyword bid edits at the ad group level, meaning within the ad group, you can go back to the keywords tab and you can select multiple keywords. You can select all the keywords on this particular page. And you can adjust the bid by a percentage or a dollar amount or set a bid amount in relationship to the suggested bid. So if you're increasing a bid by 20% for all the keywords, it's not basing it off your current keyword bid, it's basing it off the suggested bid. Be careful in applying this kind of edit as it will override any manual keyword bids that you have previously set. Within the Keywords tab, you can also add additional keywords simply by selecting the Create Keywords button. This allows you to add in, for instance, Amazon's own suggested keywords, specifically in the broad match type only. You can also provide your own set of keywords. For instance, if you're doing additional keyword research, you can add in a set of new keywords and select which match type. So, for instance, in this particular ad group, which is for phrase match, we can set the match type to phrase for all the keywords that we might add to this particular ad group. Remember, there is a limit of 1,000 keywords per ad group, so it may require you to create a second ad group if it goes over that 1,000 limit. Also in the Keywords tab is the ability to add in negative keywords. This, of course, blocks search terms from showing the ad based off of the keyword that's being matched up to. I generally recommend selecting the negative exact match when adding in any kind of negative keyword to be more precise. Negative phrase match has a more broad restriction on which ads can show and therefore may block some of the search terms that are working for your ads as well as the ones that are underperforming. So in this case, identify the search terms that are not performing. Add those non-performing search terms here as a negative exact.